Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm back down here at Swift Performance in Aylesbury. I've got my M2 competition behind me. We're just about to start its club sport build. For those of you that are new to the channel, well, I'm essentially aiming to transform this pretty fast road car into a much more capable track car, but without losing all of its road car capabilities. We're going to do it in various stages, and today is all about suspension and brakes. And as you can see below me, well, there's a lot of components laid out. Essentially, we have a custom set of Bilstein Club Sports that Swift Performance have had made for the M2 and M2 competition. You can actually see an SP sticker on here, which is pretty cool. We have a load of components to go with them from Matt up at Suspension Secrets. We've got top mounts and stuff there that come as part of the Bilstein Club Sport setup. We then have some rather nice looking AP 5000 brakes. So these are 6-pot front calipers, and we have the rotors down there. These should vastly improve the standard brake setup that I have on the car that I've obviously played around with over the years. I've got EBC front discs on there at the moment, various pads, etc. But these are basically top of the line. I'm sticking to a fairly standard rear setup, but we're going to change the pads all round to RS29 pads. So super high quality, high performance track pads. Something else that makes this build really cool is I'm actually documenting it in the Fast Fleet pages of Evo magazine. So you should see this car in its various stages of development. I aim to finish the build by July, August time, so I can enjoy it on some of the Evo track days later on in the summer. But during its build time, I should be taking it out on some of their track days as well. So I'm hoping to get this out on one of their first track days after we fitted the suspension and the brakes. I'm going to let Russ crack on with fitting all of this because, as you can imagine, it's not a 5-minute job. There's a lot of parts down here, and I certainly wouldn't know where to start myself. So I hope you enjoy this video series, and I hope you enjoy this video. You join me about 30 hours later. The car is pretty much complete. It's not finished because we're actually waiting for some brake lines, but all of the suspension and all of the brake hardware is fitted. Russ has worked his butt off. He was here until 4 o'clock this morning. In fact, I was here till 2 o'clock this morning, and we're both feeling pretty tired. I don't know how he's done it, but he has. The suspension has been fitted. Just a reminder, it's the Bilstein Club Sport suspension kit, which is adjustable, height adjustable, and it has rebound and compression adjustments on it that you can adjust basically on the fly. These kits are custom made by Bilstein for Swift Performance and the M2. So yeah, they've tweaked a few things just to make them perfect for this car, because Russ has run them on his M2 competition for a while and sort of fed back with them. So haven't tried them yet, but very excited about trying them. So that's the adjustments up there. Red is rebound, blue is compression, and down there you can see the spring, and there's a height adjuster there. But I think we've adjusted it just right. The car looks like it sits perfectly. Then you can see all of the suspension secret components here, all these arms. So we have a toe arm at the back here. We have a camber arm at the top here. They're all rose jointed. and we have a traction arm on the front here. Now, we would have some solid bushes going in down here, but they haven't arrived in time, so we've sort of gone ahead and done what we could do before they arrive, but they will go in eventually. In terms of rear brakes, well, those are standard M2 competition discs or rotors. And we've actually got some used RS29 pads in there for now. We're going to see how we get on with the rears, seeing as I have the traction control off on this car. We've got the big anchors up front. That should hopefully do the trick. But as you can see, as a complete setup, well, it looks pretty trick in there. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot stiffer, a lot stronger, a lot less movement, because obviously a lot of those rubber bushes and stuff have been removed. There's still some in there, but there's a lot less. And the amount of adjustment we've got now means that we can get the car set up perfectly. We'll move around to the front. Before we look at this beautiful front setup, I just want to say a massive shout out to my friends at Michelin, who've sent me a set of Cup 2s for this car. In fact, we haven't bothered changing the rears because although they're about 4 track days old, they've still got plenty of tread in them, and it's nice and evenly worn. It's not sort of rolling off the edge. So we've kept the rear used ones, but we've fitted new ones on the front. Again, the ones on the front weren't too badly worn sort of around this part of the tread, but on the outside edge they were quite badly worn because of the standard setup of the M2 and the fact it didn't really have enough negative camber. So we put fresh cups on the front, and they should wear nice and evenly now that we've dialed in more negative camber. So where do we start? Let's start with the suspension again. So yeah, Bilstein Club Sports on the front, height adjustable, and you can adjust the rebound and compression, but on these it's actually down here. Let's see if we can get this on camera. Where is it? Where are they? There they are. So you can adjust them on the fly. You can see a little helper spring on here as well. Really excited about trying these out. In terms of any other suspension components, well, we have got the solid bush, which I don't think you're going to be able to see. Oh, actually, that's a lie. There it is. Again, that's a suspension secret. So that's really exciting. Obviously, we've got top mounts up here. You can't see too much of because they've got some of the strut bracing on. Obviously, we haven't put the carbon strut brace back and bolted everything down up here yet, but that will get done once the light completely goes. I just wanted to film this while we had some daylight creeping in here. Now, in terms of the brakes, well, the brakes on the front axle, mighty. So we got AP 5000s and RS29 pads. Expensive, really expensive, but they are essentially about as good as brakes get. And obviously the front axle, this is what takes most of the beating. This is where most of your braking is done. I know they're going to work, and I know I'm not going to be disappointed with them, especially these brake pads as well. Again, not cheap, but yeah, I thought there's no point in messing around with this. Let's get it done right, and let's see how it goes. The next time you see me will be when I'm behind the wheel of this car and actually talking about what this car is like now that it's had all of these changes. Russ has just done all the geo on the car as well, so he set it up, got it all just right. I mean, millimetre perfect. And obviously that's going to maybe settle a little bit, so I'm going to spend a bit of time in it before I do my first track day, and I'll bring it in before that, and he'll just check, make sure everything's tight, because as you can imagine, there's just so many bolts in there, so many things that need to be tightened, that yeah, there's always going to be a small amount of movement, and it needs to be checked before I take it out on a track day. So massive thanks to everyone down here at Swift Performance. I'll see you in the not too distant future behind the wheel of this car, hopefully with a big smile on my face. Cheers. Okay, you join me at the Bedford Autodrome, and I'm here with Evo magazine for one of their track evenings. I'll be doing quite a few Evo track days this summer, so by all means drop me a DM on Instagram just to check to see which ones I'm doing. So go and check out which track days they have using the link below in the description, and hopefully join you on those. I've already done about 6, let's call them sighting laps at 75–80%, and the car feels mega. So I thought I'd come in, let everything cool down a bit, throw the cameras in and sort of take you out for the first proper drive, if you like. So let's fire it up. Let's put it into M2, which is all traction stability turned off. I am in sport throttle, so the medium sort of sensitivity for throttle, comfort steering, nice and light, and obviously the M2 or the M2 Comp doesn't come with adaptive suspension, especially now that I've got the Bilstein Club Sports on and everything else surrounding them. Let's head out on track and see what's going on. This is a manual for those of you that are new to the channel. And I've got the auto blipper turned off. When you turn all the traction control off, basically the auto blipper turns off.
You're right, dude.
Thank you, buddy.
When you're ready, on you go.
Thank you very much. Cheers, man. One of the friendly marshals down here. Such a good bunch of people down here at Bedford. All right, let's get out. We'll just go out for a medium lap to start with. Make sure all the temperatures come up. Probably know how much I love this car, and in fact I was out here at Bedford about 2 months ago when the car was in its stock form, and I had lots of fun that day. But with the stock M2 Comp on track, you find its limits very quickly, at least I do anyway, and it's still fun, but you can feel that the car's kind of crying enough in terms of suspension, in terms of setup, and in terms of brakes. So yeah, let's see what the improvements have done. Today we're not on the full West Circuit. I think this is the Southwest Circuit maybe. It's the layout that they use for evenings. It's a little bit shorter. And I actually prefer it in many ways, because when you get to the end of this long straight, and it is a long straight, I mean, in my M3 you're doing 160 before the chicane. In this, on a fast lap, you're nudging 150 miles an hour. I mean, we're not even trying, and that's 130, 140, roll off, down a gear, you tip it in. The reason I like this circuit layout is because here you can't be too abusive on the exit, because you've got to get the car back over to set yourself up for this left-hander. I think it just adds a little bit of an element to the circuit. It's a little bit bumpy though, this section, as you can probably see. Now, I've got a lot of things to do in terms of setup with this suspension that we put on the car. We've got rebound, 10 clicks of rebound, 10 clicks of compression to play with, ride height, all sorts. Oh, the brakes and the stability are unreal now, unreal. And the turn-in, oh my God. I mean, it feels wrong, it's so good. Pitch it in here at 85 miles an hour. Brilliant, turn it in, bit late in there, bit deep. Okay, let's try and get a clean lap and talk you through what I'm feeling. Like I said, brakes, it's so stable under brakes. And through here, the change in direction, well, all that body roll seems to have not gone completely, but really evaporated. It's unreal. Again, the brakes, oh, it's just lovely. In some places I'm over braking because it slows down so quickly. Being gentle with the throttle. So remember, we got no traction control. Let's find that apex, no problem, because the front end's just so good. all the circuit. Sing it all the way out to 7,000 RPM. It's 150 miles an hour on the brakes, down into fourth, off the brakes, tip it in nice and fast. Don't abuse the track limits completely. Again, little nudge of the brakes through here. The car is just fantastic. I'm sure there's improvement in terms of setup, but what Russ has done with this car, unreal. Feels like I'm going to fall through the windscreen, it stops so well. I can't believe that someone's got their old Land Rover out here, that's hilarious. Through here. The standard seats, I mean, they're a struggle when the car's stock, let alone when you've got all this extra grip now. I feel like Donkey Kong just sitting on top of the seat. It's just unreal, it really is. Oh, the way it finds. I might get in trouble for that. Didn't mean it. I might get in trouble for that. It's good. It stops, it turns. It puts the power down. It's unreal. You want to stop quicker? You just push harder on the brake pedal. Unreal. I always thought that the braking abilities with these cars was literally down to the tyre, but it's not. It's the brakes and the suspension and the setup. It's unreal. Oh, it's unreal. We're catching a boxer spider. What a machine! What a machine! Be patient on the exit, patient, there we go. Boxer Spider is faster than an M2 comp in manual down here. Actually there's not much in it. It's taking a very bizarre line into here. Where is he going? Okay. Well, better watch out for this guy. I'm not sure if he's seen me. initial impressions, wow, this car, it's unreal. I mean, it's honestly, the front end, I could just turn in at any speed. It feels almost invincible. I can trail brake so late in. I can trail brake to the apex if I want to. You know, if I think I'm coming in a bit hot for one of these complexes or sort of left-right sections, it doesn't matter. I can just brake in and scrub off speed. It's just so stable and so incredible on the front end. And I think the rear end's really good as well, but the front end has just stepped it up so far that I'm just not used to the balance that this car's got now, because it just feels absolutely mighty. So really looking forward to sort of continuing with this build process, going a bit further with it, and just seeing what we can unlock with this car. But I think the next thing, as you've probably seen by the camera, is securing myself a little bit better, because I am just moving all over the place. I'm really struggling to stay in this seat. And I just feel like I'm sitting too high, as I always have done in this car, especially compared to my M3. So stay tuned for more build stages, more Club Sport build stages coming very soon. But massive thanks and shout out to Swift Performance, Russ especially at Swift Performance, for doing all the hard work. Huge thanks to Evo for inviting me down here for their track day. And for future track days, as I say, I'll be at many of them throughout the summer. So hopefully encourage you lot to come down with your cars. And if you do, come and hit me up, and I'll take you out for a passenger lap or two. A massive thanks to Bilstein for producing these Swift Performance setup, if you like, coilovers. They feel mighty, they really do. Obviously they come with the top mounts and stuff as well that allow us to dial in all of that negative camber. Big thanks to Suspension Secrets. There's a few more bits and pieces from them that we need to fit to the car. And big thanks to Michelin for sending me yet another set of Cup 2s for this car. We put some fresh ones on the front, and yeah, they definitely help with some of that aggressive turning that I've just been talking about. Yeah, fresh rubber is always a good thing, and maybe that's why the rear end feels like it's lacking 5% compared to the front end, because the rears are about 4 track day old. So that's probably actually what the slight unbalance is. But I'm talking, it's not that it's a bad unbalance, it's just that the front end is so damn good that the back end just doesn't seem to be able to keep up. So I mean, whew, what a car, what an incredible piece of kit. I just wish it had a bigger fuel tank, because I've probably done 15 laps around there today, and yeah, I need to go and fill up. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Remember to check out all the links below, Swift Performance, Evo, and everyone else that's been involved with this build so far. I will see you at another video very, very soon. Cheers.